What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Mr. Gamer 990, and today I'm going to review one of my favorite games from my childhood, Primal. Primal is a game I grew up with, and it's a action-adventure type game set in a science fiction supernatural world, which includes elements of horror and puzzle solving, of course, action, but I'll get into both the action and puzzle solving bits of this game. But Primal is a game which I played in my childhood, and it's one of those games during the era of the PS2 which I really fell in love with, and that was during the time when we had games like Metal Gear Solid, Sons of Liberty, and also we had games like Ghost Hunters, which is actually made by the same company that produced Primal. And we had so many games like Zone of Enders and Eco Shadow Colossus. There were so many games from that era of gaming I fell in love with, and Primal was among my favorites. The reason for that is because it has a main female protagonist in Jen, and the story opens with Jen and Lewis, her boyfriend. They get jumped by a masked guy. This masked guy soon reveals himself to be Belazur. Belazur is the guardian agent of chaos and the lord of chaos himself, Abaddon. Abaddon is one part of two deities who govern this world known as Oblivion, which is separated into four parts, and these four parts are known as realms which keep the balance between order and chaos, good, evil, light and dark in check. Abaddon, however, has broken the cycle, and the first part of his grand master plan to bring down all of Oblivion and essentially Mortalis, which is the human realm, it begins with Belazur kidnapping Lewis and injuring Jen in the process. And Jen, being a hybrid, a half-human, half-demon, is a threat to Abaddon, even though he, in his own words, considers her his daughter. And Jen's spirit has been recovered by Scree. Scree being this small creature, a gargoyle-type creature who is made of stone. He recovers Jen's spirit from her body in a hospital where both she and Lewis are hospitalized after their attack by Belazur, and Scree convinces Jen to aid him and his goddess Arella. Arella being the other part of the two deities that govern the world of Oblivion. At first, Jen is very hesitant to aid Arella and Scree in their conquest to stop Abaddon and to keep balance between order and chaos, because all she wants is to find her boyfriend Lewis and to go back home to Mortalis. Jen, however, is told by Arella that she can't save Lewis unless she puts a stop to Abaddon's plan to take over all four realms. These four realms are kept together by this ancient being, a gatekeeper who's known as Cronus. But Cronus's power is slowly decaying as Abaddon's influence is getting to him. And in order to stop this, Jen and Scree must save each of these four realms. And these four realms include Solemn, Aki, and Aitha, I think that's how you say it, and of course Volca. The realms of Solemn and Aki are governed by Arella, while the realms of Aitha and Volca are governed by Abaddon. And Abaddon's guardian is of course Belazur, and Arella's guardian is Abduzur. Only Abduzur's body hasn't been found, and he has been deemed dead because they couldn't find where his body or his corpse is. All we know is that Scree is Arella's most loyal ally, and together both he and Jen try to put a stop to Abaddon and to bring order and balance back to Oblivion, essentially saving Mortalis and Lewis. Now, Primal is a very interesting game to talk about because after replaying the game and having a blast playing it, there were times that I felt very annoyed because the puzzle solving aspect to it really did frustrate me a lot, because I'm not a big fan of puzzles. You guys and gals know that. And the action sequences were fine, but it really wasn't anything special even now. I mean, looking back on it, it's pretty bad, to be honest. The action was fun and good, but there are times that I got so frustrated I just couldn't get past most of the enemies without taking my time and trying to figure out their attack patterns. As much as I enjoyed the game and as frustrating as the puzzle solving and action sequences can be at times, I really did enjoy the game a lot, and I really like how this game brings back a lot of fond memories I had when I first played Primal. Primal has always been one of my favorite games from my childhood because I really love the main character of Jen and her relationship with Scree. They have this best friend, brother-sister type relationship which I really love in games. I adore it actually, and they are so cute together. And Jen is the kind of protagonist I relate to. I really love Jen so much as both a character and as a person because Jen is such a cute, adorable, funny, strange, at times awkward, yet very determined young woman, and I really love her personality. I love how determined she is. She's that kind of quirky girl that really is fun to be around, and her chemistry with Scree is just a blast to watch. Another reason why I love Jen so much as the main protagonist is because a lot of times when we have a main hero in the game, whether be it a man or woman, I relate more to the woman because I don't relate more to guys, especially how the people who made those games, who are I believe to be men, they have this perception of men and how men would act and what their ideas of what a man is. It really does annoy me. I found it to be very annoying because I don't relate to these kind of men who are supposed to be macho and have a thick beard and act all rugged and have no emotions to them. No. I don't like these kind of characters at all. The worst example of these kind of stereotypes on how men should be in games, based on how the video game developers have made them, is actually Marcus Phoenix from the Gears of War series. Those kind of characters like Marcus Phoenix and his friends, they have like these big muscles and they are supposed to be these rugged badasses who save the world, talk shit, and they all hang out like a bunch of dudes. I do not for 1 second relate to these kind of characters, guys, because I don't find those kind of characters, those type of male characters, to be real, authentic, or compelling in any way. Whereas the female characters, at least most of the time, I relate to them, I understand them, and I sympathize with them. When you have a female character like Jen who has all those qualities I look for, someone who's determined, strong, fierce, very quirky and awkward at times, but also very brave, and she has a heart of gold. I mean, Jen really is a strong female character who has so much heart, so much will. I look for a character who's relatable, fierce, vulnerable, at the same time strong, and never lose hope. That kind of character can be found in Jen and many female protagonists like her, as opposed to the male protagonist. I would love to have a male protagonist I relate to, but so far I haven't found any I relate to personally, except for John Marston from Red Dead, or any other characters like that. Hell, Solid Snake I relate to because he's my bae. Besides Solid Snake and John Marston, there aren't many male characters I relate to like I do the female, and Jennifer being one of the best ones. Nowadays, we do have more strong female characters in games who are vulnerable, complex, and brave, but Jennifer will always be among my favorites because of the fact that she's relatable. She's very much a young girl who's born into this world, Oblivion, against her will, and she doesn't know how to make of it. All these demons and these supernatural elements and what will become of her boyfriend. And besides the action, which I really like, and the puzzle, which I obviously hate, and how frustrating it can be, and Jen being a really cool, awesome female protagonist, and her sidekick Scree being adorable, and their chemistry being fun to watch, and of course the story still holding up to this day. Not so much the gameplay or the graphics or the visuals, it doesn't hold up all that well, but the story still is timeless for me personally, because it's a game, once again, I played from my childhood, and it brings back a lot of fun memories. You can download Primal on the PS4 via PSN. Primal is a game I recommend you guys try out if you're a huge fan of old school type games, and if you're a fan of games from the PS2 era in gaming. It's something I think you guys will enjoy, and that's my review to Primal. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe if you wish, and do check out my other channel where I talk about movies, anime, television, and etc. And until next time, peace out, take care, adios amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.